Boom, Jets 55, and we're back. You know what, Phil? Philly boy and the Vin Man, Philly from Cali, Vin Man here in New Jersey, all via Brooklyn is why we talk funny. But I want to scream, I want to yell, but I'm not. You know what time it is now, Jets? And again, welcome to Jets 55, a podcast from passionate old guys who watch hundreds of Jet games and love them, and will always love them. Okay? But it's about a time now to relax, take a breath. We'll sit back, a little coffee, a little spirits, whatever roll you want to roll. But let's chill, man. We got 2 weeks just to relax and think and dream. And here we go. I just want to say this, and then we'll get Philly in here. Is that there's three things, and I'm thinking about three hurdles now at this time of year that need to be taken care of. The first hurdle, well, one hurdle is that I always wanted them to beat the Eagles. It was important, so we got that hurdle. 1-12. 1-12 is terrible, but it's not 0-13. The other hurdle is just one day beating the Pats. Didn't get that done. I wish the new Zach, who's the last three games, I've been loving him. I wish he was there for that Pats game. He wasn't.
New Zach, huh? Okay, right.
And the last thing, and this is a big hurdle, let's relax, let's enjoy, let's fantasize, let's dream. Aaron Rodgers, what is he doing? He's a madman. He's out there, flinging it. But last year, not to be negative or bringing down the house, last year, going to the bye week seemed like a lot of ducks were in a row, though they went into the bye week with no Breece Hall.
Right.
And things,
and that defense was not as good as it is right now.
I wouldn't say we imploded. I think like out of the 7 losses, 5 or 6 of them were like, what did they say, 7 points or less or 8 points or less. There were some winnable games. I still don't know how we lost to Minnesota last year, first down on the 1-yard line. My frustrations back then with LaFleur. But so the thing is, everything's sounding pretty, and I know what we're all feeling. It sounded nice. It sounded, the Sauce will be back, and Reed will be back, and Eccles will be back, and everybody's rested, and everybody's feeling great. Yada, yada, yada. Here we go. Stack them up, blah, blah, blah. We know what the reality is. So only thing I'm going to enjoy these days. Right now we're Tuesday, so 5, 7, 3, whatever, counting these days, until we play again. I'm just going to enjoy it.
We got a week.
Dream about, well, it's 5 days and 7, 12 days,
they'll be back in the house, probably early Wednesday. The weeks usually start. But, next 2
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it right up to kickoff against the Giants.
Enjoy the off week through the games. See what happens. Now you have, what we got, and I didn't want to interrupt you there, but I agree with you. Let's enjoy this moment. It's about time. It's not like they've won anything yet. They're 3-3, but they could have been 1-5. They could have been 2-4, right? And even with Rodgers, it might have been 4-2 or better. Rodgers believes maybe they would have been 4-2 or better. But who can argue with 3-3 with all the adversity that they've gone through with this whole emotional roller coaster with this guy? Now, I'm going to enjoy it, like rooting interests against those teams that you could be fighting for with a wild card. It begins now. So, I don't hate the Chargers, right? But they lost. So, okay, now they're a little bit behind. The Raiders next, Colts, they're right now, strength of schedule, right? What is it like? They're like 5-19 to go, and they're in 10th place right now. So they're on the outside looking in for that last wild card by a couple, 2-3 teams, but it's all like smashed right together. So their schedule gets better now. Like the Dolphins, their schedule the rest of the way is 591. Jets is like 519 or 516. So it's going to, and I don't believe the Colts, who are ahead of them, or Jacksonville, are going to stay ahead of them either. So I think if they just go in, conduct business the way they're supposed to be doing it, and the way that they have been doing it, they're going to find themselves in the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, challenging for the division. Because I don't buy that Miami is this ridiculous machine from outer space yet. I don't believe that. They haven't played anybody. They played Carolina.
Well,
Who the hell did really-
when they played a good team, who now is kind of like on it, almost you think they might implode, but when they played the Bills destroyed them. And if anything, that Miami offense, yeah, you got to give them kudos. That thing is high octane, just scoring points. But that supposed vaunted defense, very susceptible. So there's no great teams out there. You can't feel like there's great teams out there.
You almost should beat the Chiefs, and now you did beat the Eagles. Okay, you beat Russell Wilson.
Well,
I know that's no great shakes, but and you beat Josh Allen. Who in the hell is out there the rest of the way, except Tua twice, Josh Allen once more, right? What, you concerned about Garoppolo with the Raiders? No. Herbert is now a quarterback who's being wasted and he's regressed. Yeah, you got Josh Allen again. I don't want to get into it yet and count the wins and get through it yet. Like you say, enjoy it, relax, sit back. And you know what? I look at it this way. We knew this feeling coming into this year was different because of Hard Knocks. We weren't sure Aaron Rodgers, but we knew, oh my God, we got to it walks like it, get out of here, Zach. Well, not only did Rodgers come in and boost the whole group, the whole team, he's taken Zach Wilson off the down and garbage pail and turned him into an okay quarterback. Is he going to be great? Undetermined yet. But now it's like he's a rookie and he's doing a better job than, most of the people thought he would have, us included, in his third year. But if you think of him more or less as a guy getting a fresh start, he's doing what you're supposed to do. Don't turn it over. We talked about this. We can go into the game and all of that. But what I wanted to do before we talk about his numbers, the feeling. I got a feeling. No, I mean, we knew it was different coming into this year with Hard Knocks. Now, it's an even better story. Because if there's any chance that at the end of this year, he comes back and that defense is humming the way it is. And let's face it, Zach aside, if Aaron Rodgers is up to speed with the chemistry, he's throwing 3 touchdowns a game against these teams, against Denver. He throws a couple touchdowns yesterday, Sunday. I don't want to get into that because I don't really need to knock Zach.
Well, listen,
but it's a different feeling. There's a lot going on here that we have a lot to be happy about.
Well, listen, how about this? And, what was that years ago? There's 8 million stories in a naked city. The way that things can turn out after the bye, it can go so many ways. But here's the thing we really have to think about. Let's go back to the Buffalo game. With all the things as Jet fans like us, when you're looking at five decades of rooting for a team and so many bad things have happened, that fourth play, and then, you're kind of watching the game and you're numb, and then, well, they're just going to lose it and they come back and Gibson and you're for it. But I think every single Jets fan, when the lights were turned off and the game was off and the feeling was gone, you're lying there in bed, probably thought this might be our only win of the season, to go through such an emotional roller coaster. And then with the games that were, Dallas and the way things are falling in, things were, and then the New England game, this is going to be a horrible season. I was screaming for Zach's head. Now think of where we are. Zach against the Eagles gets hit a little bit hard. He's hurt. And I'm like, oh no, Zach can't be hurt. Never in a million years. And that changed in a 3-week span. It's 1 good game, it's 2 good games, it's 3 good games. And I say it's 3 good games because when they get in the red zone, there's a lot of penalties and it's not him. And he's so cool talking about it because he puts it on his shoulders. It's not him. When he did that fake and he spun around and that guy standing there and he let him clobber him, Salah said one lineman missed the block. He missed his assignment. And the guy who was supposed to be in the flat that Zach was looking for was not there. So there were two mistakes made by two Jets that weren't named Zach. And he gets he loses like 20 yards in a sack. And people are like, Zach, oh my God. But the whole thing is he was looking for the guy and he wasn't there. So there's a lot of stuff when you get in the red zone. But think about the emotional. I mean, come on, Jets fans. The emotion is insane. And for me to say that, oh my God, Zach is banged up. Oh my God, he better come out again, and to have that feeling. I want him back out on the field. I wanted him back out in that Kansas City game so badly. I wish the league would still look about betting. I think those refs bet the game. I will say it till the day I die. They bet the game. They wanted them to have 10 points. They didn't. They was probably stunned when Mahomes slid down. But in that game, I was dying to see Zach back on the field with 3, 4, 5 minutes to go. Never thought I would have that feeling, and I hope it continues. I hope it continues.
Look at Zach now. He looks around and finds the right guy to throw to. He has not done that up to now. He used to wait to find who he was hoping would open up so he could make some heroic throw and be a superstar, and it wouldn't happen. And he wouldn't know what to do and he'd run off. Now, he waits, he looks, he finds the right guy to throw to, and he fucking throws it. I mean, that didn't happen last year. Garrett Wilson caught like 8 balls for 90 yards. I mean, forget about it. Think about that. If he gets it in the end zone twice and goes over 100 yards, that's like AFC Player of the Week kind of stuff. That's how close it is to coming loose. And yes, we could talk about that block. We could go crazy with Lazard's block. But that sprung, and you said this, because he was at 186 yards. If he gets that one back, and Garrett Wilson, like you said, takes it to the 8-yard line, guy's over 200 yards. And what happens? Look, when they had the 2-point conversion later on in the game, he did it. That's like throwing a touchdown. He found his guy and threw it. The same as a red zone touchdown to me. And every time you do that, the muscle memory, the confidence, all this stuff works for him. And he's got Aaron Rodgers right there. It is an even better story right now than it was before. All the old stuff, the old New York Jet crap, the old, bugaboos, the fears, this is going to implode. Oh my God, throw it away. Enjoy, like you said. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't, because their defense is too good. Salah is the man. And he said week after week, we need him 10 years. They're going to win a few Super Bowls with this guy. He is unbelievable. He is a motivator. Rodgers, I mean, we go on and on and on. But embarrassing those quarterbacks, he didn't. I mean, if you watched McAfee a little bit, you saw Rodgers every week he's on, and they even said, I don't think he meant it like, haha, you suck, we embarrassed you. He meant it like trash, like, hey, we embarrassed you, man, like that. But that defense, if they just continue to show up like that and play the same way against lesser quarterbacks, there's no doubt they're going to be fine, So, I mean, Tony Adams, Jesus, man. Here's the last thing I'm going to say for a couple minutes. We saw each other game 1. I told you, I went to Jersey. We visited. We had, our sons. Your son wasn't on this time, but we were together. It was like 6, 7, 8 of it. It was a fun. Let's go. We're gonna have a good time. All right. It happens. He runs out there with the flag. We're gonna win there. It happens. So I looked around the room. I looked at you, Vin. Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. We looked around at Tommy, our other friend. Yeah, his son, my boys were there. And that happened. So, okay, that feeling for that moment, that just happened. I looked at my son this week. At the end of this game, when Tony Adams picked it off, and I looked at him and I said, did that just happen? The same disbelief, but yeah, that happened. And this time, we're going to win. So they give you this ride, but they survived that first game after that misery, and they won this game late because they don't give up. This is never, ever, ever what the Jets were like, ever. But Namath, I don't want to hear it. It was a different world then. They were a great team for a little while, but this is a machine that is being
Well,
built that's going to be there. It's
the thing you
unbelievable.
don't see, we never saw, like Kansas City. I'm not saying they came back from a deep deficit, but 17-0. I was literally first time in my life seconds away from turning off the TV, and look what that game became. So, and like even Bryce Hall has been a starter, great college player, comes to the Jets, he's a starter. Then they get all these corners, he becomes a backup, and you find out the kid just keeps fighting. And then he says words before the game that people would talk about, they were still confident, but talk about the corners that are out. And he goes to the guy, listen, we're going to win the game, but all those corners being out just becomes a better story. So we never saw this stuff. But and one of the guys at SNY who's been a 30-year, 3-decade Jets fan, saying that first drive against the Eagles, where it was just so frustrating, and then he gets a touchdown that wasn't. Yeah, it would always break the Jets back, and they wouldn't come back from it.
No,
And
right.
you just wouldn't come back from it. It would dictate the rest of the game. Jets teams in the past, with those bad calls against Kansas City, a loss like that just wouldn't be able to move forward. And to me, this is Saleh, and I got to give kudos. And listen, every coach gets criticized. People talk too much. But I know Saleh said the word embarrassed. Everybody has to shut up. Who cares? Oh, he said the wrong word. So everybody's going to harp on that. Guy did an incredible coaching job.
He it a little bit, but you know what? Tough shit.
Yeah.
The guy believes in his defense. He's allowed, tough. What are you worried about? Say it.
At that point, though, but what I like is that he's been criticized even this year with a great defense, and last year with a great defense. Somehow he gets criticized, but they call him Brick, the defensive coordinator. What a job! And he going to Tony Adams. Listen, you've been 10 yards off. We have you going to the quarterback. We've done it all game. Be 10 yards off. Take a step. Go backpedal, and he's going to throw it right to you. Boom. And this is it's not, you don't hear this.
But you know what you're saying is that's so important about this. They execute it. They don't doubt it. They believe what they're told, and then they go ahead and perform. That's something that never happened before to this degree of excellence. For a little while with Rex's defense, they were like that, and for a little while in the 80s with, I hate to say it, but with even Kotite's offense, they were all right when you figured they were going to score, they were going to do things, it was going to happen, and when Curtis Martin was it. But this team, from top to bottom, look at the O-line, how many guys they've been replacing, and he got sacked a bunch of times, but it's not like every play that he can't do anything. What did he complete, like 19 passes? They didn't run the ball as well yet as you would have liked, but this is also the Eagles. It's not a shit team. It's a good team.
He got sacked a handful of times, but we're also used to seeing games. There's games where Zach played. Maybe he wasn't getting sacked, but pressure after pressure after pressure. There were times where, maybe he'll get sacked, but there were clean pockets for him to deal with. There were opportunities. There were things where he had enough time to make a play or make the quick throws. And that's what I was. They wound up with so many sacks.
These sacks are not his fault. You're right. What you gonna do?
Yeah. So you take it like again that one where he lost all that yardage and everybody was mad at him, and then here's Saleh again saying, two Jets, not him, blew it. One missed his block. The other one, it was a poor block. He missed his assignment. The other guy was supposed to be out in the flat wasn't. And who knows if you make that play. Now maybe you're talking about a guy with 250 yards and a throwing TD. You don't know,
You got Hackett there,
and he's not getting enough of credit, by the way. I know Rodgers. I get it. Rodgers, the influence is phenomenal. I think Hack needs more credit with Zach, by the way. My thoughts.
They're like a rock band, Jagger Rich, like two guys, Jagger and Rich. They're like Zeppelin was. I know I dated myself. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page. Think about it. He comes out there. I watched a little bit with McAfee today, right? So Rodgers goes, look, I contemplated not even going this week. Why? Because I'd lose a couple days of rehab. So I decided, you know what? Let me call Robert, the coach, right? Robert Saleh. I explained to him, what do you think? I don't want to miss maybe a couple of days with my rehab. You know what Saleh said to him? Need you out here, buddy.
Oh
Need you
wow.
out here, buddy. So he told him, yeah, come out. So he said, okay. And he came out and he's like, throwing the ball. We all saw that. And yeah, that means something to these guys. It's like, holy shit, this guy is all in. He's doing whatever he can, but he's involved. He puts the headset on. They know how they're very impressionable, but that helps Hackett because he's talking to Hackett. They're doing their thing and they're working this kid up. But you're right. It takes the heat away from Hackett a little too to go do his thing. But this guy came out. Achilles, come on. This guy isn't Achilles, he's Hercules. You know what I mean? Achilles, my ass. He's Hercules. I mean, I don't want to love the guy because he's a bit of an idiot in a lot of other ways too. But this guy has done everything for us in a way that it's never happened before. He's all in.
I'm gonna throw a little caveat in that where Saleh says we need you, buddy, even though it's giving him up 2 days of rehab. Do you think maybe he said that because of the way Zach had played against Kansas City and Denver? If they're maybe another loss and Zach isn't doing what he just did the last 2 weeks, maybe he says, get to your rehab, heal.
Right.
But anyway.
And he sends them into the bye week on this high. And guess what? Aaron Rodgers was part of it. Aaron Rodgers said at the end of the game, they had like this little tunnel thing going, and these guys, you see it on the video, they're all like, Jets, they're all like so excited. And this team is high right now. And when they come back, you're right. The Giants, it's always a weird game. Who the hell knows, right? But, they're ready. And I want to tell you something. You said it first. Boy, if they won that game last week to Denver, this home crowd is going to be crazy. It was crazy, but there were plenty of Eagle fans there because, of course, it's close and you get a little bit of that. Not a lot, not over the top, but there were enough that it was a little annoying. But our guys went crazy. The fans, it was great. Now, Giants, if they're 1-6 and falling apart, that better be 50-50, that crowd. I bet you're going to see a lot of Jet fans at this Giant home game. And I think that's going to mean a lot. I think this is going to put them, they get that one started, and then the trajectory from there starts to happen. You start putting W's together. Maybe Aaron Rodgers comes back in December. Jesus, what are we talking about now? I don't know. I've never felt this way, but
right. The thing for me is, and trying to be positive.
You're like that. Achilles, my ass. He's Hercules.
Yeah, I love it. But whether the Giants are 2-5 or 1-6, they're looking for some positive vibes. They know they could have, listen, think about it. They could have beat the Bills handily.
Yeah, they did.
Should have.
Yeah.
And that lineman came back and kind of helped.
It was a penalty the last play anyway. They should have had another first.
Terrible. Actually, I would have liked the Giants to beat the Bills.
Yes.
So that lineman came back and really kind of solidified the line. So listen, the bottom line, whether they're 2-5 or 1-6, they're still going to be kind of fighting for a wild card, and they're not going to give up. So it's going to be their home game. They're going to throw everything at the Jets. They're full blown, whether 2-5 or 1-6, they're throwing everything at them. And let's see what happens, because you beat the Giants, then I think the next home game against San Diego, that crowd, wow.
Well, the Commanders will have something to say, like you said. They're a good team now. All of a sudden, but it's their young team. Who the hell knows? But if they beat the Giants, I think they bury them. I think all of a sudden they're in trouble because Dallas won their game. They should have lost too. They were lucky they got away with that win yesterday against the Chargers. So Chargers.
Right, but when it's Giants, Jets, 2-5, 1-6, it doesn't make a difference.
It's different. I know.
That's what that game, it becomes a whole, ball of wax or whatever you want to call it. But either way, like I said, I'm back to just taking a breath. Let's see other teams play. And again, this is how we felt last year, but Zach was kind of fading a little bit last year, and Brees was gone, and Michael Carter, who was really great his first rookie year, came in and really wasn't playing well at all. So yeah, the feeling wasn't like it is now, but it's going to be real interesting to see how this falls into place. But
look, they got them now ranked higher, 16th. They're all of a sudden a story again. They're not dead and buried. They're all of a sudden people are going to start, the Jets. And because this guy McAfee loves Rodgers and whatever, Rodgers loves what's going on there. That makes the Jets story. This guy in Philly, their local guy says, I hate this guy, Saleh, when he said that they embarrassed him, and then at the end of the little quick segment, the other guy on the end said, but they did embarrass him. He says, they did, So it's like, wow. So this defense is answering the bell. I'm not going to say they're the Bears or the Ravens or whatever, because they got some work to do the rest of the way to come back to that highest level. But they are shutting down good teams, and they're doing it in a way that now, when they have a chance to do it against lesser teams, pitch a shutout or two, do another pick, but get it to the end zone, score, so you don't have to worry about Zach. Hey, Trent Dilfer, even Phil Simms wasn't the greatest quarterback. Yes, later on in his career, he developed, and when in the Super Bowl, he had that record-setting day. But this guy was never a rock star. He was okay. It was about Lawrence Taylor. It was about the defense. It was about everything else that they did. So, and then after this, if you get Rodgers back, what are we talking about? It could happen this year. It could. And that's what we said with Hard Knocks. But now they get a chance to prove it. Before, it was anointed to them, and it was this bullshit with them winning the offseason again and all this baloney. Now, after these 6 games, the way they finished these last 2, they exercised that idiot Sean Payton, right? And gave Hackett what he deserved. They answered the bell this week and beat the Eagles, and now they go rest. They get healthy. Now you say, shit, this is a story. This is possible, And the bye couldn't have come to me at a better time. You never beat the Eagles. There was a time they never beat the Niners, remember? Couldn't beat the 49ers, couldn't beat the Cowboys. They didn't play these teams that often, right? They finally did that. Now they beat the Eagles, okay? So do the things that you're never able to do, Now, one other thing, and you could take it from here. How funny was
I only have 2 more things to say.
How funny was Rich Eisen, man? How funny was that when he was in London doing the London game in the morning? That was fun.
I wanted to bring that up as well. Guys, Jets fans, go on YouTube. Look up Rich Eisen. He's in London. He's doing his gig over there. Guy has like nothing left in the tank. He's dead tired. He watched a Jets game, and all he does is scream. He said, I kept half of London up. He was apologizing. But then you see him,
screaming in the hotel room like a maniac,
He's like, what did I just see? This guy's ready to sleep for like 20 hours. He was so tired. So check out that Rich Eisen. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say myself.
I mean, and that's another guy that, you got enough people, Mike Greenberg, another guy who loves the Jets. He's in the, he's been waiting forever too. He believes Rodgers is coming back. He's going to be back in December. Everybody, it's like, and if you see Rodgers talk, he's like not getting ahead of them, joking around. You're going to be back in 2 weeks, right? After the bye week, you're going to be playing, right? He says, I'll be at the game. See, no, but he'll be at the game. He'll support, So I don't know. I think if this continues, it's 2 months from now. If this guy comes back and they're in the hunt,
that's the thing. Listen, Rodgers said it though. He didn't say but if the second half starts and these guys, horrific thought, if they're 6-9, even 7-8, he's not coming back. Even if he's healthy enough to come back, that would be stupid. He said it. That's a tough task. It's still a tough task. But I'm going to leave you with this. This is the last thing on me. And again, I'm still gonna soak it all in. I got 12 days just to,
Enjoy the
fantasize.
sun, you know.
But so I'm gonna throw it out there, buddy.
I
But
know. I know what you're
my
doing.
all right. Zach in the next 10 weeks is slinging it, playing not great football, not elite, but good football. He has the Jets primed for the playoffs. There's 2, 3 weeks to go. The kid's been getting everything he's got, heart and soul, and he's doing a good job. Now, because this is predicated on he's doing a good job. So they're 10-4, 10-5, whatever. And you got a couple, 2, 3 games left, and Rodgers is ready to go. He's all good, healthy as a horse. Leg is good. He's a miracle. He's Superman. He's Hercules. You know
Please, right? Yeah.
what happens, dude? It's
Well, what you just said was that they're gonna go 7-2 or maybe 6-3 over the next
right,
9 games, right?
right.
The question is, the answer is no matter what, if Rodgers is ready, he plays, period. I don't care. Because this is a Hall of Fame. This is Babe Ruth coming in for the rookie who's doing okay. It doesn't matter. But I understand your point. But think of it. If they get the 7-2 because of Zach, he's throwing 3 touchdowns a game. He's looking never before. He's like throwing darts. He's 350 yards. He's become this superstar quarterback that, Trevor Lawrence isn't even, but you're becoming a Mahomes type guy. And he does that for 4 or 5 games in a row. Then what you're saying becomes, Jesus, oh my God, what do we do here? That's not happening though. I don't see it. It's
You're,
still
so
going to
you're,
be.
you're saying if he goes, like I'm saying, if he goes 7-2 and he's good, but not great or elite, if he's good and he's just doing enough, Rodgers is in. If for some miracle beyond miracles that this kid and Garrett Wilson has a 170-yard, 2 touchdown, 12 catch
He throws
game,
25 touchdowns in 9 games or something,
like,
you know.
but no, listen, if in those 9, 10 games he's thrown like 24 TDs, it's going to be interesting.
Well, he's also, if that happens and they make the playoffs and they don't, and they have to play a wild card or whatever, you still got to go with Rodgers because he's battle tested in the playoffs. But if he's ready, he goes. That's the way it is.
Listen, we could.
And you know
This,
what? Time to
I'm,
think about it. But he could
right.
get hurt just like that again, this guy.
I'm having some fun, but then again, also what you got to start looking at, Rodgers, but he's cold. He's great, but if you don't play, they're not machines.
Right, but if he's working out in practice starting December and is ready to go a couple of weeks later, he won't be cold. He'll be ready, So I don't know. I don't know if this guy really. I mean, it was ridiculous seeing him on the sidelines there. He's got something to prove. He wants to do it. He's nuts. He's a little out there. He's like a kid, He's 40 years old. He's worth a couple of $100 million. He's got everything he wants, but he wants that ring and he wants it to mean because it wants it to be because of what he means to this organization. He's already become a folk hero here, not only to us, but more to the team. The coach, he's a freakazoid, he said, he's like a great human being. He's like, he talks about what's your special powers. So, everybody was asking these guys after the game. Robert Saleh likes to say what his special power is, and it was having Aaron Rodgers there. That was the special power. What is Robert Saleh's special power? They're like,
Every single player. That was stupid.
This is like a business meeting where they retreat in the mountains talking about what's your special power. It's like it's getting a little silly, but that's the way these guys are. They're young and they're together, and Saleh is pushing the right buttons, and they believe in him and love him, and just keep him there 10 years, keep JD there, and it's going to happen. It will happen. Maybe not this year, maybe this year.
Well,
maybe.
I brought it up to you, Pittsburgh, all those years with Cowler. They had Cowler for a while before they won. And
Right.
they finally won. And now they got this guy, Tomlin.
He's been there forever too, yeah.
And he's won, but he's had some tough years. but can continue. I mean, I think if Woody, no matter what happens, we know this season, as Jet fans, we're always worried about that implosion and everything, but it could be one of the best sports stories ever. It could go so many ways.
It's
But
right. It's a movie because
I think
you
if
went from the highs of the highs to the low of the lows to now with the most unrealistic expectations for the kid who was left on the carpet in the weeds, beaten to death with burned alive, and he's doing the job. So all you can say is thanks.
I wanted him so badly gone.
I know, yeah.
And beyond, I don't think I've ever disliked the Jets player as much as I disliked him.
But he's changed because Rodgers has helped him change. And I think Hackett has helped him change. And I think he's just focused. As for Saleh, one last thing I'll say, he said, I don't think there's anything that you can do to this guy anymore that could shake him. He's seen it all, everything. So he's in. So he just has to, he says, with his close. Maybe we start getting 2-3 touchdown games against a lesser opponent. Maybe that starts to happen. Because don't forget, he threw 2, like you said, against, he should have thrown against Denver something. He should have done a couple of touchdowns there. It didn't happen. I don't blame him about the Eagles. These tough teams. But now let's see what he's made of, because you got to eat on, banquets where they're going to put the food out. If there's nothing there, you can't eat. So I get it. Some teams are rough. Patriots, Jesus, come on already. No more with that. You can't ever lose to them again. And I know that's the end of the year, so that sucks that they lost that one. So, other teams, like, you're supposed to do the job, come in and do it. But I think Saleh has them understanding that, and it's exciting. Never better. So maybe we'll see a run, and maybe we'll stay alive. But maybe the actual dynasty will begin one day. So maybe we're almost there. But
this is their chance. But JETS, Jets. Hope you folks keep enjoying Jets 55. This is just time to, again,
enjoy the bye-bye, enjoy it,
chilling it. I'm chilling it, and I'm going to enjoy it. Watch other teams play on Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whatever, all the games that are being out there.
Yeah, enjoy it.
And let's see what happens. Good job, bud. Good job.
Right. Talk to you again, buddy.
All right. Go Jets.
TS, All right, man. See you later.